what I'm thinking about is, there's a lot of enthusiasm for the Harris Walz campaign right now on social media. I see it with people that I follow on Instagram and also their stuff, and there's a lot of confidence, but this kind of stems from what I think you were talking about on Smirconish this morning too, Mark, is that some of the polls aren't necessarily reflecting that, and I'm worried that people are overestimating how good she's going to do in Pennsylvania and what kind of fallout there could be from her and or that happening. And then also just like why, like the Biden record is so unpopular. Like, and Biden was his popularity ratings are so bad, and so are Harris's. And all of a sudden, we nominate Harris, and it's like, well, why did we choose someone that Trump can still attack considerably and say, like, this is like she has this record. Like, why didn't the Democrats say, like, oh, let's choose someone else? Like, maybe they'll agree with what Biden says, but or Biden did, but like, why didn't they choose somebody that they can separate that from a little bit? Because
Yeah.
this is one of Trump's biggest strengths right now is to say, like, look, everything that's happening right now that you don't like, she's responsible for it. Whether that's true or not, but he can still say it. So
Yeah.
why didn't they take that into account? Also, if Pennsylvania is so critically important, I still don't get why Shapiro wasn't picked if Pennsylvania has this much importance.
Yeah. Max, I'm going to answer those briefly, and then we're all going to ask you questions because we've got a ton, because we're honored by your presence here. One man focus group from the Midwest. They chose her because no one else stepped forward, and they recognized that she had the capacity. She wanted to run, and that they couldn't talk her out of running, and that she had a turnkey for the campaign, for the fundraising, for the staff, for the headquarters, for the political operation. And uh, the chance that someone would have beaten her was pretty low in whatever system was devised. The delegates were Biden-Harris delegates. And so rather than risk a bloodbath and a contentious, long, elongated process through Chicago, they went for her, and they could live to regret it, primarily, I think, for the very reason you said, which is she's a tie to the administration. Um, Governor Shapiro made himself unpickable by the nature of what he wanted out of the relationship, both in the campaign and if they won. And that was his choice to do. They didn't have a normal process to negotiate over. And so I think people who say she made a mistake in not picking him, I really think he basically made it untenable to be picked. But there'll be more about that in history books.